Hello there, my name is Alan and I'm a teacher in SET English. In this video, I want to give you a top tip for OET writing, and it's about verbs, okay? So verbs are usually doing words. And in this video, I want to sort of talk about two verbs, okay? The first one is needs, and the second one is requires. These are two verbs, two action words that are used very often in OET writing, okay? Because you are talking usually about a patient who needs things or a patient who requires things, okay? So you're going to have to probably use these verbs in your OET writing, okay? But there's a mistake. Lots of people make a mistake, a very common mistake with these. If you watch this video, very quick video, I'll teach you the mistake and you can avoid this in your writing, okay? So just watch this video. Few minutes, I promise by the end of the video you'll understand this error and you won't make it in your writing, okay? So let's get started. First question, are they the same? Needs and requires. Is it the same? Are they synonyms? A synonym is a word which has almost exactly the same meaning. So for example, assessment and evaluation. These are synonyms, okay? Needs, requires, are they synonyms? Do they have almost the same meaning? I would say the answer of this, in terms of meaning, yeah, more or less. Okay, there are some slight differences here, but in terms of OET writing in your exam, the meaning is almost indistinguishable. You cannot really separate the meanings, okay? You can use them in place of each other in the writing. So you can say, Mrs. Green requires help with her ADLs, or you could say, Mrs. Green needs some help with her ADLs, okay? So needs and requires are being used interchangeably, right? So the meaning's the same. However, big however, are the grammar rules the same, right? Even though they mean the same thing, are they actually operating or functioning in the same way in a sentence? The answer is no, okay? And this is the problem. Because the meaning is the same, people think, nurses and doctors like you think that you can use it in the same way. You can make sentences the same way. You can't. And in this video, I'll explain more. So just watch to the end of this very short video. I'll explain the rules and then you can avoid this in your writing, okay? So let's look at an example so I can explain this. Look, Mrs. Green needs to be encouraged with ADLs. Is that correct? Mrs. Green needs to be encouraged with ADLs. The answer is yes. Okay, this is a good sentence, the kind of sentence you might write in your letter. Maybe ADLs, you could paraphrase that, make that a bit better, but this is a good sentence. Okay. Now, what if I say this? Mrs. Green requires to be encouraged. Is that correct now? Well, the answer is no. Okay, so the first one is correct, the second one is incorrect. Why? What has happened? In this video I'm going to explain, okay? So the problem is, of course, the word requires. We changed from needs to requires, okay? And now it's wrong, okay? Why is it not correct? Let's talk about it, okay? So the reason why it's not correct is requires. After requires, we have this word here, to be, all right? And this is the problem. I can say Mrs. Green needs to be, but I am not permitted in English grammar to say Mrs. Green requires to be. That's the problem here. It's very simple really, okay? So what is the rule? You just need to remember this rule. You can remove this from your OET letter writing, okay? What is the rule? After requires, no infinitive. That's it, okay? So after the word requires, you should not put an infinitive. Those are the rules. So I'll just explain, just in case we're obviously grammar terms, they can be a bit annoying. What is an infinitive? Okay, maybe you're not 100% sure. It's very simple. To run is an infinitive. To eat, to sleep, to be, right? These are infinitives. This is actually what we call the full infinitive. Full, F-U-L-L, meaning you've got two words here, right? To run, there's two words. That's the full infinitive. So no full infinitive after requires. This is the rule, okay? It's very simple really. If you're understanding me so far, that's really it, Okay, so let's have a look at an example here. Mrs. Green requires to be encouraged. Mrs. Green requires to be encouraged with ADLs. Is that correct? Well, no. Of course, it's the same example. To be is a full infinitive. And the rule is no infinitive after requires. Can I say Mrs. Green needs to be? Yes, I can, right? Because the rule is only applying to requires. This is what's called a verb pattern. You probably studied this before. This is just one thing in a more general topic, which is verb patterns. Okay, so just don't forget, if you're writing an OET letter and you want to use the word requires, you cannot use an infinitive afterwards. All right, that's it. Try and keep that in your mind. Make sure you don't do that in the exam. That's hopefully removed one grammar error maybe from your writing. Okay, last thing is I just want to talk to you about us. We are SET English. I'm one of the teachers in the school. If you're interested in training with us, check out setenglish.com. We have loads of one-to-one and live classes and materials, so feel free to check us out